and welcome to a special edition of the Horror Countdown podcast. I'm your host, Don Anelli, and tonight with me I have Kelly Kassia.
Hello, thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for joining me because tonight is our top 20 of 2021. This is our end of the year list episode that we're going to count down our favorite choices of the year. So, thank you so much for doing this. You saved me from having to do it myself, and I appreciate having a partner. So, this was a great opportunity. So, thank you so much.
And I'm very excited because it was crazy year with all we going on in the world. So
Yeah, um, d-
interesting.
yeah, for sure. Definitely. At this point, normally we do top tens, but I figured because it's the end of the year, I figure we do our top 20. For that, we're going to get started with my number 20. I went with Witness Infection. This is a zombie comedy. Basically involves a mob boss and his sons who are shipped off into the witness protection program and are confronted with a viral outbreak in the community that they are sent off into. And their former enemies are in the community as well through a clerical mix-up. One of the sons has to brave up and man up and save the community from the zombies. I had a lot of fun with this one. It's fun, it's fast paced, great zombie makeup, lots of gore, plenty of laughs, really fun time. Nothing too deep, nothing too you have to really think about, but just a lot of fun and one that I really enjoyed. So I don't know if you saw this one, but do
Yeah,
you think?
it's very interesting because um, the good thing we exchange our top 20 and the ones that I don't have a chance to watch and get to know what kind of movies you did like it. Make me want to watch. So definitely I'm gonna put in my list.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's nothing too deep. It's nothing, that you have to really, it's just a very competent film. It's a fun, gory zombie romp. I like those kinds of films. Yeah, it wasn't going to be much higher than this, but it still made my list. Yeah, interested to hear what you think of it when you watch it. We'll move on to your number 20.
My number 20, it was just come out available for us to see it this year, right? But they were from 2021 and it's false positive. So
Hmm.
it's horror mystery thriller, but is so similar with Rosemary Baby from 1968. So I don't know if I could recall as a remake, but it's almost the same story. So it's a lady that she wanna get pregnant, but she had a hard time uh, with, you know, get pregnant. So she go to this doctor that is recommended by her husband, and by the time she get inseminated, she starts acting differently because she suspects that her doctor is doing something behind her back. So her pregnancy maybe have something more than what she was wishing for. So things get very twisted, and everybody around start being acting weird and very overprotected to that child. So I don't want to say too much because I think for who watched Rosemary Baby and like Rosemary Baby for 1968 should give a chance for this one. It's like a modern way of the version of the Rosemary Baby. So I like it. Positive. It's pretty interesting, and the acting was pretty good too. So I give that.
Nice. Yeah. I saw it. I wouldn't put it on my list, but I'm definitely a fan of it as well. So My number
Do you
19.
think was uh kind of like a remake from the Rosemary Baby?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go so far as a remake. I think it's just working in similar areas. Um, I would probably have gone more ripoff than remake, but I do agree where you're going. I do see that there's a lot of similarities in it. I For me, I would probably say maybe ripoff more than remake, but I wouldn't really throw too much of a fit either way if somebody said that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. So your top 19 is
Oh, yeah. My number 19 is Fear Street 3, 1666. So, the concluding chapter of the Netflix saga, group of teens that go back in time to 1666 and play participants in a uh, witch hunt in the community, and basically learn the clues to stop the killers that's stalking them in 1994. Um, I really enjoyed all three. I'm actually gonna, do a little mild spoiler right now and say all three are on my list. I enjoyed them all pretty much equally, but um, this one I felt a little underwhelmed at the end. I felt that the 1666 part was the weakest part of it. I enjoyed the 1994 part, which was the second half. It's a fun little updated slasher kind of a thing, but I still really enjoyed it. There's a lot to like here. Some nice atmosphere, a bunch of nice little jump scare moments, and a lot of intriguing backstory that they come up with at the end. So it doesn't reach what I feel are the first two, which are a little bit better. They're higher on the list, but I still felt all three of them were enjoyable and worthwhile. So my number 19 is Fear Street 3, 1666.
wow. Yeah, I saw that one too. I actually saw all three of them. Um, yeah, was I was not too fan of it. I'm not too fan of when have too much killing, savage killing. I'm more a ghost girl, but
Mm.
was very well done. I have to say that. It was very each story. I think I like the number three more. So yeah, I agreed with your point. You know, it's interesting you put in the 19. So my 19 is The Conjuring 4, number 4.
Mm.
Yeah, why I picked The Conjuring 4? I'm a sucker for that movie. I don't know. Like I say, I love stories and like kind of like exorcist, you know, a ghost take their body and make it creepy. And so this one was not my favorite of all the Conjuring. I have to be honest, but I still enjoy. I still get that feeling with it's very creepy. Is and this one was very kind of a more savage killing, like with that boy gets possessed. So I like all that possessed. And this movie, even if lots of people did not like it, that the word "the devil make me do it" is being using in every comedy now that I'm watching, like a stand-up comedy. People are using the line "the devil make me do it." So I mean, look like was very popular by people by watch, even if they did not like it. And I think the reason people start watch these movies just because the one and the two that they really enjoy. So I love The Conjuring. I'm super fan of it.
Nice, yeah. I have it higher on my list. I do have Conjuring 3. It's the third one, not the fourth one.
You have the
But
three?
yeah, this is the third one.
Oh,
You're thinking you're thinking of Insidious, I think. Is Insidious has four. The Conjuring only has three. But yeah, it's not a big deal. I have it on my list as well, but I think it's the third one, not the fourth one.
oh, I'm sorry. I guess I'm making
No,
this. Take care.
Yeah, no
You
worries.
know
I mean,
what I said before? Because one time I was chatting with somebody and I put in number three and they told me no, this is number four. So they messed me.
oh,
I
okay,
blame
yeah,
them.
okay, yeah. So yeah, they're the ones. Yeah, this is the third one. But yeah, I have it on my list as well, so I'll give my thoughts then. But we'll move on to my number 18. I was telling you a little bit about this when we were setting our chat up to record this, that I have a little bit more of an indie taste than a lot of people, and that's kind of reflected in my number 18 choice. It's a film called Medusa. This one is about a woman who's she's a drug addict. She's basically performing tricks in a, trailer park whorehouse or brothel, or I don't remember the term, but it's a small little community where all of the prostitutes live together in trailer parks, and they're basically pimped out, here and there. But one day she gets involved with a client who is a he's into black magic, and he has her perform with the snake, and the snake bites her, which in turn transforms her into a titular Medusa. Although that's kind of, it's not really a spoiler because it's the title, but that's the end result. Um, I enjoy this. I thought this was a really well crafted film. It's psychological. It's a little bit body horror. It's not a full on Medusa running around, snakes in her hair, just killing people left and right. It's more about her undergoing the change after the bite and trying to come to terms with the fact that she doesn't know what's going on, because the Medusa is the end game. So it's this build up to where she's going to end up, and I enjoyed it. There's a lot of great acting involved. It's a small cast, but they're really fun to watch. I enjoyed it. For some reason this one just worked for me. It's kind of, it's under the radar. I know a lot of haven't come a lot of them haven't seen it, but my 18 is a film called Medusa.
You know what? I was passing through movies yesterday to watch, and I saw this one. And then I did not read what was about, but even just the cover was like, oh, that sounds interesting because I remember to watch Conan movie, with Sylvester Stallone. Oh, no, no, Sylvester, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I did like that they have this Medusa, right? And I was fascinated by. So when I saw the cover, I was like, oh my gosh, I should watch this movie, right? But then I was thinking maybe it's very, very low budget movie, and
It is, yeah.
it is.
I'm not, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I do I'm probably gonna be a little this part may put you off, but I do know the production company that makes it, and they're they're not the highest. They use a lot of kind of low rent CGI at times, but I mean, it's my personal taste. I kind of gravitate to those kinds of films, so I'm a little more forgiving of really bad CGI. I'm gonna say this: if you're interested, watch the trailer. Unfortunately, I am gonna say this: the trailer does give away what goes on in the film, but if you can tolerate what goes on in the trailer, you'll be fine with the movie, because the trailer, like I said, the trailer does spoil it, but it's the build up to get there. That's the whole point of the film. So, like I said, if you want to watch the trailer first before, and then decide how the CGI affects you going off of that. If you're fine with it, go for it. If you're not, I completely understand. It's just I have a I I know the company, and I know the production behind the stuff like that, and I kind of gravitate to those kinds of indie films. So that stuff doesn't bother me. It's also kind of why it's high on my list. Way back here at like number 18. But yeah, like it's still worthwhile. I still enjoy it. So you can.
Listen. listen you tell me what the movie is about make me interesting because I like good story.
Yeah.
So just the way you are saying that she had transformation and you go slowly, and then the trailer park with those, hookers, and I'm like, I want to watch now. You know?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if you're not bothered by indie films,
No, not at all.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm saying not just to you, but I'm saying to like in general. If you're comfortable watching like $100,000 and under budgeted films, then you're going to be completely fine with this because that's sort of in the area that they work with. If you're more like theatrical release kind of a person, or you're familiar with like a Netflix or a Shutter or somebody that's going to like put, a decent amount behind it, but not like, an astronomical theatrical budget. But if you're comfortable with that, then this may be a little off putting and like a little low budget. But like I said, if you're fine with like, indie $100,000 kind of features, then I think you'll be fine with this. So it's not a warning to you. It's just I'm putting it out there just in general. So
Mhm. That's good to know.
yeah, like I
My
said,
top,
just
yeah.
I'm just saying, just doing a little warning. Like I said, not putting you off, but just saying my piece. So yeah, you're number 18.
Yes, my number 18 is The Wasteland. It's a Spanish movie, and is about a mother and a son and a husband that live in this in the middle of nowhere. Just their house and a huge land. And look like there's a mystery in it that the father tried to tell a little bit to his son the story what happened to his sister that killed herself. Something that she see it, nobody else did, and then in the end she killed herself. And sadly, some guy show up, um, in when he was fishing, and he bring it home, and the guy kill himself. And then the husband said, I need to take his body to his family. I need to go and find his family. So he leave his wife and son and go with the body of the dead guy looking for the family away and go away and stay the wife and the son. And the wife starts seeing something. The son didn't don't see anything, and she fighting to protect her son. To the whole movie is about after her and her son in this house in the middle of nowhere, and something is haunting them from outside. So it's pretty interesting because you only would know what's going on, that I'm not going to tell you, of course. um what she's seeing, what is after them, if it is something after them. So I'm gonna keep the mystery that way. So it's pretty good. It's the acting is great. What's going on, the mystery makes sense after in the end. So I recommend this movie definitely, and that's why it's my top. It's my 18, number 18.
Nice. Yeah. I've seen it as well. I do agree. Yeah, I love the mystery. I love their relationship together. Their interactions are fantastic. You really feel for them. A couple of scenes are far more chilling than I thought they would be. So, yeah, I recommend it as well. I found it was a 2022 release just because it was available to us then. But I definitely agree. It's definitely worth a watch.
Yes, it's so hard because when they put it for us to watch or to number like from 2021 2022, and some movies that is from 2021 later on, they only allowed us to watch now in the 22, right? It's release.
Yeah.
So it makes so complicated for us because we want to do a
Yeah.
top 20 in the beginning.
I know. Yeah. Me and my friends, we do this all the time. December is basically just a slew of messages in our chats just about, is this released in 2020? Is this released in, is this good enough to watch for the my list? Can we watch this one? Can we watch that one? Yeah. My friends and I go through that all of December trying to figure our lists out. So you're not alone in that. We do that ourselves.
That's good. That's good. I was
Yeah.
thinking of phrasing it. Yeah, I need to
Yeah.
watch. I need to put in my list. So I
Yeah.
was a little confused. Should I put it or should I not put it? But I like it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's worth a watch as well. I figured it was 2022, but no, I completely agree. It's definitely one that I would go behind as well. So my number 16 or 17, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing here on my paper here. My number 17 is The Old Ways. So this is about a woman who she's an immigrant to the United States. She's originally from Mexico. She returns to her hometown to do a story. She's forget what the point is, but she's supposed to go back and do a story, and she gets abducted by a family and put through a series of bizarre rituals that are meant to exorcise her. They believe that being away in the United States, she's become possessed by something, and it's a struggle to save her and get the evil out of her, so to speak. I really liked it. It's an unconventional exorcism film. Everybody is, I assume, familiar with the term exorcism movie are gonna suspect a person, a priest in a, black robe throwing holy water at a person with their head turning around, projectile vomiting pea soup or something. Um, this is completely different. It's not, you don't get any of that. You get people that are tied down and they're, forced various potions, and there's like tons of ancestral writings and various stuff placed around her, and she goes through various hallucinations, and you sort of suspect that something may be going on that nobody's telling her. You start to suspect that maybe there's something else going on that you're not quite sure what it is. I really liked it. I found it really fun. It's pretty chilling at times. Some of the imagery is really well done, and it's a fun time. Not the most original, not the most creative, but definitely worth your time and definitely worth a watch.
My number 17 is Broadcast Signal Intrusion. So this movie was actually interesting because it's something that I never hear about. That I decided to watch because was kind of they used some kind of true story in this movie. So look like some event that happened in Chicago in November 2000. Oh, I mean November 22, 1987. So they put some pieces together, you know. But of course, in their video, look like it only lasts 25 seconds with this
Mhm.
creepy person. So when I hear that it's kind of have some kind true, I get interested to watch this movie. But was lots of mystery in this movie. It's like you have to put the pieces together to understand. So this guy watching this some videos and suddenly have this creepy person with a mask. Those he trying to figure out what who is behind and what's going on. And in some moments I was like so confused in this movie, and I'm pretty sure if you watch this movie you're gonna be a little confused too. But you have to really pay attention to you put together and understand what's going on in this movie, because it's kind of like have some type of ghost, and then you have a stalker, and then you have a psycho. So it's like so messed up that I keep my eyes on the screen. So for that, that's why I put in my number 17. I was like, I like it, this story actually. It's like the detective. He was like a, trying to find out himself. A simple guy just saw something weird, and and things get very weird and dangerous even for himself. So I like this one. Do you see that one?
Yeah, it's on my honorable mentions. I was kind of like you. I was very kind of drawn into what's going on. I felt like it answered too little of what I wanted. The purpose behind the videos and what was going on with them. It fell a little bit because of that. But I do agree. It's pretty engrossing and it's kind of chilling at times when when he starts diving in and he starts going deeper and deeper into the tapes. But no, I really liked it as well. Like I said, it's on my honorable mention, so um, I really enjoyed it.
Do you knew that was actually like a pattern of the actual event in this movie?
Not when I first watched it. After I saw it, I one of the things I usually do is I usually do a little bit of research, just in case I missed something, or I have a couple questions, since I check around to see if maybe somebody else had figured out something like an area that I had a problem with. So I kind of stumbled across that after the fact. So I didn't know it going in, but yeah, I was aware of it. I am aware of it now, but not when I first watched it.
Okay. Okay, good. I'm
Uh,
glad you watched it, so you know what I'm talking about. Weird but good.
yeah. All right. So my number 16 again. This is kind of another indie pick. I went with The Truth Will Out. This is a British found footage film. It concerns a host of a tabloid reality show. He's you know it's kind of hard to put into words without really spoiling it, because his job is kind of a major spoiler. But he's looking around for new subjects. He's kind of like a sleazy guy that'll go around and do exposés on people with like weird fetishes, or they have like bizarre stories to tell. Like one of those kinds of people. And he comes across this family who say that they're being haunted. And they say, specifically it's targeting the young daughter. They say that there's something, there's some kind of malicious spirit that's being drawn to her. So they need his help to figure out what's going on. And as they spend the night there, it takes place over the course of several nights. But the first night they're there, they start to suspect that this may be something a little bit deeper than their usual stories, because they're used to exposing people as cons, but they go along with it because the pay is good. And this is the first time that they start to suspect something sinister and something real is going on. And eventually there's like a really really disturbing twist that gets revealed. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it's found footage, so it's supposed to be the documentary, the crew that's going along with him. They're documenting everything because of some kind of mandate that they have, something to do with the radio station, that they have to mandate procedures being followed for union or something. Um, it's an okay. That's kind of like one of the weakest parts of it, is why they're filming it as found footage. But if you go in with what's going on, if you buy into with the twist, this is really creepy. A lot of the shock scenes are kind of unexpected. You get a really fantastic finale that kind of picks the energy up, and has some thrills involved to it. So definitely something that it's much better than it looks. Again, it's kind of got a really kind of cheesy cover artwork, but give it a chance. I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely worth a watch. Like I said, especially if you buy into the twist. I don't necessarily know that it's going to be it kind of ties into sexual harassment and a lot of the Me Too movement. That part's not much of a spoiler, but saying much else is. So if you can buy into what's going on, I think you'll really enjoy it. Again, like I said, indie, but definitely worth a watch.
That's good. I didn't see that one yet. So
Ah,
there's actually lots that I didn't see, and definitely I still gonna watch,
yeah.
the ones from last year. So yeah, my number 16. I hope I can pronounce right because English is not my main language. So I'm doing okay job of speaking English. Antidote. That's how they call antidote. Uh,
Oh, antidote.
yeah, antidote. See, you need
Okay.
some help.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, the only reason I like this movie is because to the end, I did not figure out what was happening. And I like when the movie keep you in that stage of you thinking, oh, this is real and this is that, and then in the end is have a twist. I like that, and this movie got me. So was this woman that she was sick and she go in this operation room, and suddenly when she wake up, she's in this hospital. That this hospital do a kind of experiment where they give you pain. So basically, they cut your hands, and then suddenly they stitch it up. So they keep, like torture you basically. All the patients is being tortured in this hospital, and you cannot get out, right? She keep asking, where I want to talk to my husband, I want to see my kid, and they say, no, you cannot do that. You have to finish your treatment. So was really like horrible, like the tortures, like, oh my gosh, what is this, like. So the whole time is her and the patients torture the the people, and she's trying to get out. So there's some mystery in there that I'm not gonna say what really why she's over there, because I was so angry. I was like, why the hell her husband put in this hospital? I was so upset, and I think she was my husband. Waited. If I get out, you dead. you know, I'm gonna torture you too. Because it was like really unbelievable. You could not figure why they doing this kind of treatment, and they trying to explain, convince the people that it's for their own good, right? So yeah, so this is my number 16.
Nice. Yeah, I saw it as well. I really enjoyed it. Like you said, there's a lot of fun little twists involved here. I never got the ending at all. So yeah, nice pick. Moving on to my 15, I went with Censor. I kind of debated this whether or not I should have it a little higher, just because I really liked it. I keep going back and forth on whether or not I place it too low or I place it too high, but I'm pretty comfortable with where it is now. Basically, it's a film censor in England in the early 1980s who's responsible for basically being a movie censor, deciding whether or not graphic horror films and other kinds of movies and media are allowed onto the public. Eventually, she ends up coming across a movie that it reminds her of the disappearance of her sister when she was a kid, and it just becomes a prolonged and um, really fascinating character study into her trying to remember the fateful night and all of the strange and bizarre incidents that went on because one of the main reasons is in the film that she watches the actress in question who's playing the lead role she believes is her missing sister if she was still alive. So it's just really starts to get to her, and she becomes just mentally unhinged as time goes on. The uh, the majority of the film I'm into. I have the most questions with the final act. Some of the stuff just doesn't make sense there, but for the first two thirds, I was in love with this. I found it fantastic. She's it's a really fun character study. She's her descent into madness is really kind of handled as well as I've ever seen in these kinds of films. And I'm not usually into this style, but I was into it. I kind of just it went off a little in the third act, but I still really enjoyed it. So my number 15 is Censor.
I have to agree what you say about this movie because this movie is in my list too. So I'll talk about why, I like it. My number 15 is VHS 94. So this movie's police SWAT team investigate about Mr. VHS tape and discover sinister code that has pre-recorded material which uncover a nightmarish conspiration. Nightmarish conspiration. Did I say it right?
More than likely, knowing the film, I would go with conspiracy.
Conspiracy. Yes,
Yeah,
conspiracy. So it's no conspiration, conspiracy. You see, I'm learning
yeah,
English with you right now, not just the movies.
yeah,
um, I picked this movie because it was crazy to watch. Basically, is how this crazy, can I say scientist or a doctor, creepy
yeah,
guy, like using human body and create some creature. Oh my gosh, it's like was horrible. I'm not saying the movie is horrible. I say it was horrible what he was doing with the people. And it was so hard for me to watch to the point that this is definitely horror for me. It's terrifying, It's terrifying
yeah,
because that person is still conscious, can't even talk, can't even explain, like take me out of here, So there's some scenes that was like I want to die, like if I am in that situation, you know what I mean? It was really
yeah.
terrifying movie for me to watch. So
Mm.
this I said have to be in my top 20. This movie because bring me in like nightmares. It's like
Yeah,
there's lots of twist people, crazy people in the world, but this one showing that people can go beyond craziness. So
yeah.
that's number 15.
Yeah. I have it on my list as well, so I'll mention my thoughts on it then. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. So,
I never
uh,
saw a movie like that. Like actually, I did the Centerpiece. They call that one.
oh,
Is that's how they call that movie Centerpiece? That he put a bat with the bat, like connect them together. They're bats.
I'm trying to remember. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, no, they're mouths and they're bats, something like that.
Okay, yeah. That is Human Centipede.
Yes. Oh my God, was another horrible movie too. So this VHS was even worse for me to watch. That one
Yeah,
was nasty. This one was terrible to to
yeah,
watch. Sorry, I just
yeah.
compared it because that's
No worries. It's actually pretty apt. That's a pretty good comparison then.
thank you.
Yeah,
That's what came in my mind when I watched this movie. It's like that.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
what's your number 14?
All right. So my number 14 is Black as Night. So this is a teen girl who's trying to raise herself out of her situation. She lives in a poor section of New Orleans, and she eventually stumbles upon the fact that there's a vampire coven hidden underneath the city, and they're picking people off one by one, and they're targeting poor members of the community. So she believes that her family's next. So her and her friends head out and become monster hunters. I had so much fun with this. It's really fun. It's a fast-paced film. Uh, you buy into the vampire lore with what's going on. It's I'm not going to really go too deeply into this, but there's a really fun and fascinating subplot about what the vampires are doing and who's controlling them and why. That it makes a lot of sense, and I really like it, and it ties really heavily into a lot of current events with Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. But it's not preachy about it. It just touches on it, but it's not dwelling on it. So it kind of ties into what's going on with current events and racial issues and stuff like that. But the majority of the film is just fun vampire action. Her and her friends are a lot of fun together. They're a really fun group. Yeah, like I said, it's just a really fun film, and I liked where it went. I liked what it did with the creatures and all of the various the various little subplots that move it along are really fun as well. So my number 14 was Black as Night.
Oh, I never watched that one, so definitely I'm gonna put in my list too. Good to know. Make me wanna watch.
Cool.
So my number 14 is Blood Red Sky. There is a woman with a mystery illness is forced into action when a group of terrorists hijack a plane overnight. I like this story. Like even in the beginning, like you don't have no clue why they already separate, right? The mother go meet the son in the airport, and then they get together, and she have that kind of mystery on her to the point that when those terrorists they control the plane, and of course she want to keep her son safe, you start seeing that there's more about her than anything else. It's not about anymore about the plane getting taken, but it's about her. And I don't know if I should say it, what it is, but this movie is lots of action, and I like action movie, and I love vampires too, like zombie and vampires movie. And this movie gave me lots to be excited for. And the son, like I see that this boy did a really good job as an actor. I don't know about you if you saw this movie. But it was very interesting how he was so overprotected. I was confused if he knew what's going on with his mother. Too, in the middle of the movie, he don't even know what's going. He knew she was sick, but he didn't know what exactly was her sickness, right? And
Yeah.
even with that, you can see the love and between mom and son, and do whatever they can to to keep their kids safe. And other actors in this movie, that I like was that guy that in the oh, I'm not gonna say, sorry, I almost say it. But there's another guy in this movie that he was pretty good, and I like how he get involved in it, in the story, and how end up. So from the beginning to the end, I enjoy every moment in this movie, every moment.
Yeah.
So,
I did too because it's my number 13.
oh, nice. That's your next one.
Yeah, so that's my number 13 was Blood Red Sky. I loved it. I'm also an action fan, so a lot of the takeout, a lot of the plane takeover stuff and the shootouts and hunting the vampires down. That was so much fun. Uh, main storyline with her trying to get back to her, keep her son safe, but keep him, from discovering who she really is. I had a really good time with it. Yeah, it's just it's a fun time. I had a lot of fun with it. So yeah, I had it at number 13. So
Do you feel that in the beginning you saw that he know uh, uh, what she was sick of it, right? What was her disease or whatever? In the beginning, make you feel like, oh, he knows, and then by the time in the mirror, when she showed herself, it's showing like, oh, he didn't know exactly what it was, you know.
yeah, I was a little unclear of that myself because I thought it was kind of similar where he he kind of was suspecting and comfortable with it, but then the incidents on the plane kind of make him it's really hard to discuss without spoiling it, but yeah, I kind of felt that he didn't know, but yet for some reason they portrayed him as knowing. So
I think the reason why she like he didn't know. The reason I think she didn't tell him is because she was hoping in this trip she was getting the cure.
Right. Yeah, that was kind of that's why I was leaning to was that, if the trip works and the treatment's a success, she doesn't have to reveal anything. She can just pass it off as some other kind of um she can pass it off as something else.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I kind of got that vibe as well, but I mean, again, it's something that, kind of hard to talk about without spoiling it, but no, I had it at my number 13. So yeah, I really enjoyed it as well.
Good.
So that moves us back to your 13.
My 13 is the Forever Purge. I'm super fan of the Purge. I think it was a great idea. Special. They use what's going on in the world, right? And they put it that as an excuse to go insane in one day. And I was thinking, "Shit, that's pretty interesting because I hope never happen, of course." When they in the movie, I have some few people I need to purge, but I'm joking. I'm joking. But I
Yeah.
mean, I just like the idea that they use that people going nuts daily, and let's keep don't do the whole year, but do in one day. Get your anger in one day. And the you have those people that really want to put that anger in haunting other people, and you have those ones that don't want to join and want to protect themselves, and even trying to protect themselves, you in jeopardy. Like you still scared that you're gonna die, you're gonna get purged. So I love it. In this one, the Forever Purge, the actors, I like the actors that was in this movie. Like, I'm a fan with some of the actors there. Like Josh Lucas, I like him very much. And I I have to say that this one is not my favorite of all the Purge. I have to put it up there. Because it's basically is more about, especially in the beginning, about his family, right? And then from his family, look like he has kind of like a, should I say, like a little bit rules about he did not like much the Latinos. We have that kind of very, I'm the boss, you're gonna do whatever I wanted, and so have some conflict between how he treats his workers. And I was thinking, you know what? One of his workers gonna turn against him in that person because the way he told me, he gonna deserve that. But have a little twist that the one he was mistreating is the one, was helping, right? So
Yeah.
I like that because showing you the bad in the human being and then the good thing in the human being, you know. So I like this movie very much. So the Forever Purge is my number 13.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a little lower than you, but I still had fun with it. I agree the cast is the best part about this. They're really fun and they're really good in this. Again, I don't really like this as much as the others in the series, but yeah, I had enough fun with it, so not bad at all. Moving on to number 12, my choice is Fear Street 2, 1, 1994. So this is the first in the series. Basically, a strange killer starts stalking a group of teens in the small town, and come to find out that it is related to this strange curse that's been affecting everybody and seems to happen on a cyclical basis, like every 20-25 years, I think. Every There's this one weird incident where somebody goes crazy and starts murdering a bunch of people, and it goes back, dozens and dozens of generations, and they decide to, put a stop to it, but it turns out to be much more difficult than they suspect. I was kind of a little nervous about this because I'm not the biggest fan of the late '90s teen slashers, which this was kind of being marketed at before we got the rest of the trilogy. But I had a ton of fun with this. I really like the way that they handle the curse here. It sets it up in a pretty fun way where you get just small little hints about various incidents in the past and all the weird happenings and murders that take place. Uh, there's some fantastic stalking scenes, much more gore than I expected. I wasn't really aware that they would go as heavy as they did, but yeah, this was a lot of fun. I like a lot of the cast in this. Most of them, they're kind of teens, so they're like high school agers. I really like what they did with them. I really like a lot the brother sister relationship that develops over the course of this. Uh, the best friend is a lot of fun, and the various groups that are brought into the curse. They have a lot to like about them. So I really enjoy this, and I'm not as high on it as I am part two. Like I said, I had all three, but I definitely think they're all worth a watch. But number 12 for me is Fear Street 1, 1994.
Yeah, I saw that one too. Yeah, it was not my type of movies. I don't
Yeah,
like much like you said about the teen and this that you like. I'm not into like for me to watch it will be like really good acting and really good story and when it's too much like girly and then too much make believe I lose a little bit interesting. But
yeah,
like in the beginning when I was watching one and two, it's like you will start with one and then you want to watch the second, the third, and but they kind of like different story, but in the end they connect too. So
right.
I
Yeah,
was like, oh my god. So they have a connection between. It's just different type of scenes. They.
yeah. All right. So your number 12?
So my number 12 is Censor.
Ah,
And
okay.
I know, I know you mentioned already, and I don't have to say the story again because you already said it. I'm just gonna say why I picked Censor. I'm from Brazil, and I never heard about there's such a job like this. Like somebody would watch the movies before being released to say that is appropriate to, the public or not. So basically, I learned something, you know,
Hmm.
about this movie because there's such it's a real job. So I was so curious, and not only that, for the fact that she do this for living, in the same time she was taking that deep in her personal life that was haunting her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like it, the whole mystery, and I was trying to figure out that is for real. There's something to do with her sister. You know what I mean? I was like, what? You know? So yeah, I picked this movie because it was something that I did learn, and I was glad to, and was very interesting movie. It did have creepy parts that I was creepy with her sister, and really was trying to figure out what really happened to her sister. And I think some people give some different version of what you think that happened. I don't want to say now, but because it's
Mm.
the end. But I have my own version. What happened to her sister? What really is? Because still in the air. Do you get that, or you figured out that what really happened?
No, well, like I mentioned in mine that it kind of went off of the rails for me in the third act, which is why I was debating whether or not it was too high or too low, and that's one of the things I wasn't ready to really spoil it, but yeah, how it treats the actual disappearance of her sister just left me really confused, and I wasn't really. I had no idea what actually happened, so I kind of took points off for that, but yeah, that was one of the one of the things that kind of got to me and why I kept it as high as I did because I wanted to put it higher, but yeah, why her sister's if her sister is actually dead, it some of that stuff actually bothered me. So
So I would
yeah,
tell you my version, what I think, not
yeah,
really
go ahead.
happened. Yeah, because I was putting pieces together. When I don't understand much a movie, I watch more than one time. Sometimes I go to three times, right? So this movie I watched two times because I was not happy that I did not understand or I wanted to get a clue what really happened to his sister. So I got my own version, what I think, what I watched for the second time. So we can talk later, but yeah. So that's my number 12.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd love to. I mean, any understanding would definitely be of help. So yeah, that'd be great. But nice choice. Yeah. So moving on to my number 11. My number 11 is The Stylist. So this one is about a woman who is a she's lonely. She's doesn't have any friends. She doesn't go out. She doesn't really do anything. But she basically just spends her entire time at a hair salon. She works as a hairstylist, and eventually she ends up one day weaseling into the life of this socialite and her group of friends who are planning her wedding. Basically, they needed her initially to style her for the engagement photos, but because of that, she ends up forming a strong attachment to her in the group. But it turns pretty deadly when everybody realizes that she's not as together as she says she is. So I love this. This is a fun character study. The main stylist girl, is really fun. I really like her acting. She's a really fun actress. She's great in the role. I really like. The other real part with this is she ends up having a fun little meltdown, and it's telegraphed, but not in a way to where you can guess where it's going. So I really enjoy this. I had a lot of fun with it, and it's definitely a pretty under the radar film. It kind of borders more on thriller than horror, but I really enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun with it. So I definitely recommend it. It is The Stylist.
Nice, nice. My number 11 is Myra's Lane. So it's another ghost story, you know. Like I said, I love ghost stories. And this one, it was this kid, this girl. And the amazing thing for me, when have kids involved, and especially in the horror, I really pay attention every single expression and that they showing in the screen. Like some like I watched some other The Omen, and I don't see um sometimes I don't feel fear, right? And so I like to really see, especially in ghost movies, is that fear in their eyes, in their expression. And this type of ghost here, the way they make little creepy, like especially a child that is seeing a ghost and it's only her. And there's a mystery about this kid ghost that she's being seen around the house, and she lives in a huge house too, big nice house. So there's something to do with some religion too in this movie. So have some creepy moments in this movie, and this kid, I have to agree, she did a great job as an actor. And I have to say, I'm a sucker for a good acting, a good story. That after I watch the movie, make me a little bit scared. Let me close my door here because, you know. So, so this movie gives some creepy parts that, yeah, was very interesting. I like the atmosphere that give, like the creepy trees.
Hmm.
The view like from the window, like from she watched from the window, and then you have that ghost right behind you. So I like that, make you feel like, oh, scary, that's creepy. You don't need to have killing all the time, but just some unknown ghosts around. So I like that. So she's This Myra's Lane is my number 11.
Oh yeah, you're selling me on this. Is one that I haven't seen yet, so I'm definitely gonna have to track it down. Yeah, you're really selling me on this one. So
Thank you. But yeah, watch it.
yeah,
Good.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we kind of mentioned this one already. My number 10 is VHS 94. Um, yeah, that segment's bizarre. Um, yeah, that the one with the doctor, that's out there for sure. But I also have to say, I really liked a couple of the other segments. I mean, I know that that one's kind of the highlight, but I enjoyed especially the first two. The first one, if I remember the order right, the first one is about the reporter who stumbles upon the rat worshipping society in the sewers. I think. I think that's the first one, yeah, because the second one is the one at the funeral home, and I really enjoyed the both of them. I thought they were both a lot of fun. Um, Overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really solid anthology. Not too much wrong with it, but yeah, the majority of this one for me is the third one. The crazy doctor one is just so over the top and so ridiculous, but overall, I felt it was a solid anthology, and I had a lot of fun with it. So I went to number 10 with VHS 94.
Nice. Yeah, was good. Creepy movie. um, my number 10 is The Trip. So is about a dysfunction couple hit to a cabin to reconnect. Look like their passion is over and they wanted to, start something good, something new. But soon they get there, their intentions is to kill each other. What the hell? Like you're going to a cabin to have a romantic time and you plan to kill each other? That sounds creepy. Before they can carry out their plans to kill each other, unexpected visitor arrive in their cabin, and then they face a danger. Super. So means basically they both can die, not just one or another. So yeah, I think this movie is have lots of action. I have to agree. Like lots of like punches, stabbing, shooting. So, and by the time they get there, and when you figure out that they plan every single weapon, especially the woman, the wife, like she's so smart, like and he's thinking that I was thinking like he's the bad one, right? Because he started doing the first shot, right? He's the one start killing her, trying to kill her. And when was the twist that she was more smart than him, so she knew it. She already have was ahead him. And when they figured out their plan to each other and have some comedy. And I don't know if you see this movie, but I laugh a lot. Like some of they are sharing about their relationship, right? But there's some after to the end you guys have to watch. And it's lots of fun in this movie. And I can say it's have a twist and all, but I think you already expecting what's gonna happen in the end because I did. I already expected when this you know killers, a robber or whatever break into their cabins and they trying to fight to survive. And the funny thing, they trying to throw it each other, like telling the others to kill, like, oh, kill my husband, or kill me. But by the time they stop with this game to say, you know what, we need to save our butts out of here, and they work together. So it's super fun, this movie. I really enjoy. That's why it's my number 10.
Yeah, another one I'm gonna have to check out because I don't think I've seen this one. I know the title. I think I've seen it around on various services, but I don't think I've ever taken the plunge to watch it. So yeah, I'm definitely intrigued because this one sounds like a lot of fun as well. So
It
that's
is
two.
have some comedy and a good
Yeah.
story and some little twist between their relationship, how they start feeling for each other later. So
Hmm.
it's pretty fun.
All right, well, it's two in a row you've given me. I'll definitely have to look into them. So appreciate that. All right, so moving on to number 9. This is the end of the Fear Street trilogy, or I should say, part 2, Fear Street 1978. About the only real flaw that I have with this one is 1978 really wasn't a summer camp slasher kind of a setup. It feels much more likely to me that this should have been Fear Street 1982, just because I thought that would have tied into the summer camp aesthetic a little bit better. But other than that, this is a blast. So basically, in this one, this is like I said, the middle part of the chapter. So, having come to grips with the idea that there's a curse on the town, the group of teens who survived 1994 head to the lone survivor of a 1978 incident, who retells what happened that fateful summer when the curse involved her and her group of friends. I gotta say, I had a lot of fun with this. The slashing scenes are really well handled. They're messy and brutal, just the way I like them. The twist involving who this survivor is, because in the beginning you realize that there's a survivor, so you realize that one of them has to survive. But the way that they pull this off, because there's a really fun little twist that they do here, which I gotta say I didn't see coming. It took me by surprise. But other than that, I had a lot of fun with it. Definitely my favorite of the three. Uh, I had a lot of fun with it. So my number 9 is Fear Street 2, 1978.
That's awesome. All three is in your list, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
You really enjoy it.
yeah. I mean, like I said, I was really high on all three. They're all pretty close, but yeah, 78 for me just barely edges out because I had the first one like couple spots ago. So yeah, they were really close for me.
Yeah, that's good. So my number 9 is Don't Breathe number 2. So I'm a fan of the first one, and this one is about him raising this child, right? And of course, like the first one that we all saw is only about him and these teenagers that break into his house. And this one, he found a child, and he's raising a child to be a survivor. So he trained this kid, to know how to handle herself, how to save herself, to fight back. Um, and I like the idea because it was not just the blind guy, but is a guy that have a feelings, have a family. So it was more than that. And when the movie is about this child, she's the sensation in the movie. So the whole mystery is involved this child that he raised as his own, and the kid doesn't know that it's not his daughter, it's not her daddy. And I like how he was so overprotected to her, and he even keep that love to the end to her, because in some moment you feel like um maybe he doesn't love her, or maybe he just want a company, right? But you figure that his love for her go even beyond, to even is he can give his life to her. So it was a beautiful story for me to the end, like and
Mm-hmm.
I like the twist that they have in the end, like do you figure out the background of this child and how creepy it was, the parents of the child. You capable, like you believe, like yeah, she belonged to her real parents. When you figure maybe not, who knows? I want to keep that mystery too for me. Don't watch, don't breathe too.
Yeah.
So the movie is about this child. So there's some mystery and lots of action. I have to say that in the first one, um, have a little bit more action, I think. More as he cannot see it. He's more like he go by the sense, by smell, by noise. This one look like he's an expert now. Look like he's not even blind anymore. He know where to go. He know where to, you know, to where that person in that. So this one was. A little bit more Hollywood for me.
Mm. Yeah, I'm still deciding which one I like more because I'm kind of like you. I really enjoyed both of them a lot. I don't know, really know which one I'd place over the other, but yeah, I had fun with it. It's definitely a good time. So yeah, it's a great choice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll move on to my number eight. I went with A Quiet Place 2. Sorry about that. So in this one, they've based the families emerged from their hiding place and they're heading out into the world, which we saw at the end of part one. And basically, they come across another survivor who they we come to find out is a old friend of theirs. And basically, they decide to stay together to avoid the creatures and various other threats that emerge. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. A fantastic opening because the opening of the film isn't the ending of part one. It's actually what is termed as day zero. So we get to see the initial invasion and how the creatures arrived and how they terrorized the town and took over and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Again, you've got three great central characters. You've got a fantastic bunch of action scenes involving the family trying to get away from the creature. I'm not as high on the ending as I am the rest of the film, but it's still a lot of fun, and it's definitely a worthy sequel. So if they do make part three based on this one, I'm definitely interested in where it's going because it definitely leaves it open for another chapter, which I'm really looking forward to. So my number eight is Quiet Place 2.
Yeah, my number eight is A Quiet Place too. So we hit it equal in that one. And even what you say, the reason I like this one and I want to watch this one is because she has the baby. And when
Yeah.
you have the idea that it's very hard enough to raise a kid and keep them quiet, right?
Right. Yeah.
Cosmic baby to keep quiet. And I was expecting, I say, oh my gosh, how's she gonna survive with this baby? you know? And I was like very, very excited to watch. Like I wanna see how that's gonna happen because in the first one, her little son died, right?
Right. Yeah.
And because he make a noise with his toy. And this one, I was thinking, oh my God, that's her baby gonna die because this baby gonna cry one way or another. And the way they figure how to keep that baby quiet was pretty like you smart, like how you can and keep in that box and have the air going through so the baby can breathe, and it was very smart. And another reason I love this movie, like you said, they give you the beginning how everything starts,
Yeah.
and we all was very curious with the first one. It's like how that happened, and it was great idea the director put that up there. It's like here is what really happened, how they end up in that way, and after that scene they go straight how they end up was just her and the kids, and new actors come along and join them, and they figure out that there's more people alive, it's not just them, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it was like you said, would probably have number three because they putting in the air like that there's more people involved. So, they can maybe even end up with this killing all those creatures, like those aliens. So
Mm.
it's gonna be very interesting. So yeah, that's my number eight too for sure. I'm a fan of it.
Ah, nice. Yeah. So moving on to number seven. Again, another film we've touched on earlier. My number seven is The Conjuring 3. I really enjoyed this. I'm a huge fan of this series. I love the original. It's one of my five favorite films of films of the past decade. The original just worked wonders for me. I loved every second of it. Second one was just a slightly below, but I I still really like it. This was a fantastic return to form. I had so much fun with this. I love the relationship together. The two, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, the two actors who play Ed and Lorraine, uh, they they continue to knock it out of the park. I love the way that they interact together. The mystery is really good. I really like the way that they build this up. Um, Overall, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I think it's a great way to end it because I don't know if there's able to go with a fourth one, but I'm still interested in doing it if they want to continue the franchise with them. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this, and I'm a huge fan of the franchise, so I went with number seven on this one, Conjuring 3.
Yes, it's definitely. I'm super fan of that one too. I think, yeah, number one was really like remind me a little bit like The Exorcist. When the mother get possessed and she's
Yeah.
all twisting around and wanna kill her kid, and it was so creepy. And the number two, what's my favorite part in the number two was the Crooked Man. That song that she
Oh
at
yeah.
the wife.
Yeah, that was really that was really fun. I remember that one now. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that part because I was like, Crooked Man from the toy. And I want to buy that toy because I collect toys, horror toys. So buy that toy. And I want that music box too that sing that song. So yeah, so I'm super fan of that too. So it was a great choice you put in your number seven.
Yeah.
So my number seven is Old. The Old is about a family going vacation and discover that this secluded beach where they are relaxing has so much fun and beautiful view for a few hours and somehow causing them to age very quickly. That's the worst nightmare ever. At least for me, I'm scared to get old. I am old, but I'm scared to get wrinkled. So reducing their entire life and in one single day. Can you believe you can die in one day? And you're gonna see yourself wrinkle from head to toe. So that was great. It was very unique story for me. I like to see like something that nobody come up with it. And first time you see it. That's the only reason I picked this movie is because it's very unique and it's terrifying. You going vacation with your family when you end up in this place where you cannot get out. You can't. You have no choice. You have to be there and you see your kids growing and you wrinkle and your mind go crazy and they going crazy in this movie, some of the peoples because it's not just one family in this beach but look like the hotel send few families to this beach, and there's a mystery in this movie why the hotel manages send those people to the beach. So watch it and you figure out why they're aging and why they are there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like this movie just because it was very great story and was son of my fear. The worst fears get old.
Nice. All right. My number six is the new Candyman remake or reboot or whatever they're calling it. I really don't care. Yeah, this was a really good remake, or whatever it is, whatever they want to call it. The updates to the story are fantastic. I love what they do with the mythology here. A lot of the a lot of the Candyman scenes themselves are just absolutely spine chilling. I love I mean, there's one scene in particular where he appears in a bathroom full of high school students, and yeah, yeah, this is a lot of fun. I love the way that they update it to modern society. Um, Again, it's not necessarily, it touches on a lot of topical topics and modern society and all that kind of stuff, but it's handled great, and I really like what they do with it. So yeah, I enjoyed it. So number six for me is Candyman.
Wow, surprise is my number six too. So we have
Wow.
the taste in there. I
Nice.
tell
Yeah.
you that. Um, I like the idea they saying the story from the first one, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they tell in the movie. They not showing the scene, but they have that kind of like animation drawing showing the story and then what happened with that reporter, right? They even say what happened to her later, right? Because that movie
Right.
finished
Yeah.
one way, and then after we did not know, so what happened to her? So they even say what happened to her, and the way he's an artist, he's a painter, right?
Mhm.
And the events that happened to him make him the changing. I love the way he expressed himself in those paintings, the way he was painting. It was actually beautiful. Like, he was painting so evil thing over there. And I love it because it means like his passion for the painting is still what he was feeling. He was transparent, in the not in the screen, but in the how you say in the drawing that he was doing. So was more a little bit not just about the Candyman, but about who he really is, right? And I
Right.
was
Yeah.
and that was funny because I was thinking, maybe Candyman picked him because uh, he's strong. He looked like a little bit like the other Candyman, just younger, of course. But he's stronger, like the way you see in one of the scenes that he had the hook in his arms too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the end turned me off a little bit. Like I was a little bit confused.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think this could have used a couple more minutes because I do think it kind of rushes itself at the end a little, but yeah, yeah. That's what kind of kept it down just a touch for me, but yeah. I don't have too many complaints about it.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I like the acting. He did a great job. This guy, this actor. I thought that he did. They picked the right guy. You know, the way he, like I'm saying, the transformation that the Candyman was haunting him,
Right. Yeah.
and he did not believe in the story in the beginning, right? So see, there you go. Now you're living the Candyman. So yeah, that's our
Yeah.
number six.
Nice. All right. So this one again is going to be kind of a really off the wall pick because I don't know if too many have seen it. I actually managed to catch it for a festival screening. Um, and this one just blew me away. I loved it. It is Cemetery of Lost Souls. So I think you might be a little interested in this this one, especially because it's Brazilian.
Oh no, I
Yeah,
definitely will watch it.
yeah. So yeah, basically it's sort of two parallel storylines. I don't want to give too much away, but what happens is this family lives on this plantation, and they it takes place over two time periods. One storyline involves the owner of a traveling circus who decides to use a over the top act to sort of draw people in because they're not necessarily fulfilling demands and keeping their the troop happy. There's talks of revolt, and they're not meeting their standard of living and all that kind of stuff. And then there's a second storyline involving a malicious spirit that's tormenting this group living on this this plantation that this family moves on. And over time you gradually realize the two stories are connected. Again, I really don't want to say too much, but I really liked it. I really loved it. There's a lot of just great atmosphere here, a lot of kind of bone chilling the way that you realize what goes on and how the title comes to being. Um, so I again I don't want to spoil it too much because I don't know if too many have seen it, but if you get a chance to, definitely give this a watch. Um, yeah, like I said, it's Brazilian, so I think it'll probably be a little appealing to you. But My number five is Cemetery of Lost Souls.
And in Portuguese is O Cemitério das Almas Perdidas.
Yeah, that rings a bell. If I remember the if I remember the subtitles on it, that definitely rings a bell. So yeah, that's definitely the one to keep an eye out if you can find it. So
It's funny because I'm watching, I know the director, Rodrigo Aragão.
oh
I definitely gonna check it out. Because sometimes I type it up Brazilian movies, right? Because sometimes I don't feel like reading or something, or I wanted to bring me back home, like my language, because I only speak English here. I don't even have friends that is Brazilian, right? So I want to keep going with this Portuguese so I don't forget it. So I like to watch some movies from Brazil. So that's definitely
mm,
my list.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you mentioned the director. I saw his previous film, The Black Wind, and I really loved that one. So it's definitely in the similar vein. So if you like that one, yeah, I think you'll like this one. So
Yeah, definitely I'm
yeah.
gonna watch. My number five is Army of the Dead.
Mm,
I like zombie movies. Like, I really love zombie movies. I don't know why, but I love it. I think I know why. It's because they are creepy. Especially if it's in the real true story life. If we ever have a zombie, I want to be in the old times where the zombie are very slow. So give me a chance. Run and stay away. But the modern zombie is as fast as hell, you know? So it's more as an action to get away from those zombies. So make me more interested even to want to watch how creepy and fast and crazy they are. So this one, The Army of the Dead, I love the introduction. Live Las Vegas. Oh my God, was so cool. It's right away action, 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 and they're showing pieces of each um, people in the movie what happened to them in the when the zombie attack. So it was pretty much Las Vegas type of action. So yeah, so I love this movie. I don't know if you ever watched this one.
yeah, yeah. It's on my honorable mentions. I really enjoyed it as well. But the thing for me is 2 hours and 30 minutes is kind of my breaking point and tolerance for these kinds of movies. So it kind of lagged for me a little, but other than that, I definitely agree. I love the zombies in here. I love the little society that they develop over the course of the time in here. And yeah, just relentless action. I had a lot of fun with it. Just yeah, 2 hours and 30 minutes is kind of a tough task for me. So
Yeah, it was very long, and I think this movie they use lots of Hollywood make believe action because, like I said, it was lots of explosion, and the zombies
yeah,
is is so smart in this one. Look like they are more than a zombie; they are like kind of like aliens, right?
yeah,
So it's beyond just some virus that spread and people turn into zombie. It's way beyond. It's like they created more than that, like new virus that make you a super zombie and super creatures because there's a creatures in this movie too, like
yeah,
dogs or like giants, basically.
yeah,
And
yeah,
look
yeah.
like the zombies have feelings in this movie.
Oh yeah, no, I really like the way that they handle it. I love the new addition to the lore about how they have their own society, they have their own rules. I mean that scene where they grab the one guy and they throw him into like the pit and like they judge him.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that was so cool. I really liked it. I mean, like I said, I really enjoyed it. Just the asking me to sit through that in one sitting is kind of a task, so it kind of fell off for that. But other than that, I'm on board with everything he said. So I'm definitely a big fan of that as well.
That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to my number four. This is Jacob's Wife. Basically, the wife of a small town preacher who's completely dissatisfied with her life and is going through the motions in their marriage and their public relationship and so on, ends up encountering a vampire. And over the course of her turning into the creature, she ends up coming across various obstacles that test their relationship and test their marriage, and whether or not they can stay together, even though she's a vicious blood sucking monster. I fell in love with this movie when I first saw it. I love the film's a big relationships centerpiece about the marriage, and whether or not you can still be together and still be in love, even if you've been together for decades, because they've both been together for a while. But yeah, this worked for me. I love their dynamic together. I love the vampire attacks in this. It mixes sentimentality with brutal action incredibly well. Few little touches of comedy here and there, just to not make it depressing or anything, but just enough to lighten the mood. But overall, yeah, this worked for me, and I had a lot of fun with it. So my number four is Jacob's Wife.
I have to agree with you because I watched this movie and I really like this movie too. Like, the love that he had for his wife and he's trying to, feed her. So it was pretty good. I really enjoyed this movie. I agreed with you. I don't know why the hell I don't put it in my list. I'm thinking. But anyways, my number four is We Need to Do Something. I know it's a weird name for a movie. We need to do something. We always need to do something, right? So I think the director was sitting was like, you know what? We need to do something. Hey, let's make a movie. So, anyways, this movie is about after Melissa and her family seek shelter from a storm, they become trapped. With no sign of rescue, Melissa comes to realize that she and her girlfriend Amy might have something to do with the horror that threatening her family. So basically, is this teenager that feel like she don't belong anywhere, and suddenly she find a girlfriend. Look like they fall in love with each other because they start having a relationship. But this girl get her into like witchcraft, some ritual and stuff. And that's the time she was spending with this girlfriend, get her into that. And sadly, when she's home with her family, was a big storm. So the father say, "Let's hide in the washroom." That's a weird place. Like I would not go to my washroom. I would go to my kitchen, up to my pantry in the basement. But anyways, they hide in the washroom because they feel like the walls is very strong and they can stay safe in there. But the storm was huge, looked like a tree fell into the door and locked them inside this washroom. So this whole time in the movie, they're locked in this washroom and no food. Luckily, they have water. That's the plus, so that's good. And running out of food, getting stressed out because they cannot get out. Nobody come for the rescue because they have that hope, in the beginning, like somebody coming for us. But look like there's much more going on outside than inside, and they are more safe inside than outside. So this whole movie is like have some little twists in the beginning. And the fun part is how the family inside this washroom going nuts, you know.
Hmm.
So that I like this type of story. Like it's no match. You don't work too much. It's just a few people, and you see the acting over there how developed. I can say that I did not like much the end because it looked like maybe they should stretch a little bit longer, and you can see because you have to watch. It's like you gonna be questioning yourself in the end. But yeah, it's a good movie. Good acting at least.
Hmm. Nice. Yeah. I haven't heard of this, so I'll definitely have to check it out. All right. So moving on to my number three. My number three is Werewolves Within. So in this one, a new employee in a small town basically is introduced to the rest of the residents by the local male lady, and over the course of time, comes to find out that the series of killings are being conducted by a werewolf. And as the title suggests, werewolves within. You have to figure out who the creature is and what's going on with try to stop who's responsible. So again, this is another one. I fell in love with it the second I saw it. It's just the quirky comedy, fantastic characters, great setup, a lot of fun with the mystery involving who's the werewolf. Yeah, this one just worked for me. I'm a huge werewolf fan in general, so kind of like with you and zombies. The use of a werewolf just kind of drew me in you based on that to begin with. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. It's just fun. It's fast. It's just a lot of fun and great werewolf design, great makeup, great gore, great kills. I had a lot of fun with it. So number three for me is Werewolves Within.
That's good. I'm gonna watch because I like werewolves too, especially that movie Werewolf in London. I love
Uh,
transformation in the whole story of this two was best friends, I think, or brothers, something like that.
yeah, I think they were brothers. Not, I think they were friends. Yeah, now that I remember.
Yeah, so backpackers going to this new, place, grow up inside, get attacked. I love it. That's one of my favorite movies. Yeah, good pick. I need to watch that one since I like werewolf too. My number three is Last Night in Soho. Soho, Solo, Soho.
Soho.
Okay, it's weird. Anyways, um, so it's about this girl. She have a talent for fashion designer, and she go to this town and sadly look like she have a vision of this girl or woman. She look young to me, but and she starts seeing her life, right? And every time she sees it, she incorporated that girl in herself. So she started changing. Was a little complicated for me. Like I said, I watched this one 3 times. But the reason that I was like, why she even seeing that girl? Like, on and off. And look like she lived her life in one night and when she wake up, she's herself. So I was so complicated. And sometimes she meets somebody that it was in that girl's life. That he's old now, but he was younger before, right? So it's like she's living the past, right? And figure out what really happened to her. So it was pretty interesting, and I like how it was like bringing the feel of the 60s. I like the clothes, the way the people are behaving, and so they bring that up, and it was nice. It was very glamour. I love it. The singing, so it was pretty much, you know, um, I enjoyed this year. Like I was very happy to see this movie. It was very like modern, but at the same time in the old generation type of movie. It was a good movie to me, and the acting was great too.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. Again, this is another one that I kind of I was kind of putting on my back end of my list, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I really like the way that they intertwine the two and the relationship that they have. Yeah, I really liked it. So
Don't you
yeah.
feel that this girl that she was seeing from like the past give her the confidence?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Younger man.
you definitely. Yeah, there's definitely a major character change that she goes through in the course of it. So yeah, that's definitely something that you can tell going forward. So
Even in the normal life with people, sometimes you inspire yourself in the singer or in the actor that you like, or the way they dress, the way they have their hair. So basically, we do use some of those things that is our favorite and we see in people. Like we copy some stuff. And I think
mhm.
sometimes make you like she feels so confident, and I think bring to us that type too. Everything is good, is great to suck it in and take for yourself. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't go killing like that.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to number two. My number two is a Thai film called The Medium. So this is a pretty deep film. There's a lot going on in here, so I'm not really gonna spoil it too much. But I'll try to be I'll try to be brief as I can. Basically, a film crew is following this exorcist slash I guess the term would be like paranormal healer. Essentially, she's kind of like a woman. She goes around and acts as like a medium or like spiritualist or like medicine doctor and like various other jobs like that in this community. And she's tasked with trying to exorcise this demon out of this one girl, but things go wrong from there. Like I said, again, this is a pretty deep film, so I'm not really going to spoil too much. But this one just it worked for me. I'm a huge fan of Asian horror in general. I just love the off kilter atmosphere they have. They just have this weird way of making something mundane, like normal everyday life, just seem like really creepy and bizarre. And that's the case with this one. I love the way that they handle this one here. It just goes bonkers in the third act. Again, I don't want to spoil too much, but if you haven't seen it, definitely give this one a watch. A kind of a long one. Again, this one I think touches on 2 hours, so it's kind of a rough setting, but um, it's worthwhile. That final act is just it goes off a wall, and I loved it. Yeah, again, it's from Thailand, so be wary of subtitles if you're not comfortable with that. But otherwise, definitely give this a watch. I believe it's on Shutter for most services, most areas. Sorry, but yeah, it's called The Medium. So definitely give that a watch. It's my number two.
Oh, I'm gonna put in my list too. It sounds interesting. You saying this whole. My number two is Titani or Titani they call it. Titani.
Um, yeah, I don't know either. The most common way I've heard it pronounced, and this is just me and my friends, so I don't think it's really official or anything, but I've heard it pronounced as Titane.
Okay. Okay. Sounds like
Yeah,
rock from the space.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to pronounce it either.
I think that's why they call it like that because, like I'm saying, look like some rock come from the space because this movie have some weird thing going on. But anyway, um, so it's about this child that she has a car accident and she get injured. So she has kind of like a brain damage look like because she's weird, she become weird after that. So she has an operation. She have this huge scar in her head, like in her right head side. So she looked like she have normal family. Like start the movie, she had, have a weird relationship with her father, especially with the father, and he's a doctor, right? And so then she leave the house because some murders start happening, unexplained, around the city, and she run away. Basically, she sounds like a normal. She have a relationship with somebody or a girlfriend. I was not sure her sexuality because it was guys, sometimes it was girls, so I cannot say it, and I don't think it matters anyways. The point is, she killed them, right? So something click on her, and she just end up killing those people. So she run away, and the second part of the movie. Oh, before that, she have sex with her car. Some car, not her car, but some car. For me, was the weird thing ever. Like, you have sex with your car. That car can do that, and she ended up pregnant somehow. So this movie was so much. weird, and it's so weird that I like it. You know, I have to say it. So she ended up the second part of the movie. She ended up in this family where the guy did not see his son for a long time. He was missing, and she pretended she was the son. So he have that love for her when he think it's he, not her. And yeah, so the second part of the movie is about this family with her, and she pretended to be the son when she's not, and she's pregnant. So that's a weird thing. So there's a lot of scene that the killing was very savage. The acting was great. I love her acting, especially when she was hating herself. Like, you could see, like, I would think it was for real. Of course, it's not for real, but that scene was so savage. She was trying to give her a black eye, or maybe have a swallow face to look like more like a guy. So her transformation, her body and her face was great. Like, I love when the actor go beyond her beauty. She doesn't care how ugly she can be. You know what I mean? I love that transformation in the actor. You can see like they dedicated themselves, not just the mind and the body, complete for the movie, and she did a great job. So that's why I picked my number two.
Nice, yeah. Definitely looking forward to it because I haven't had a chance to get to it yet. So yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by it.
If you like weird movies, so this one would be
Yeah.
good to watch.
All right. So that brings us to our final choice of the evening, and my number one film. This one basically was on my list the second I heard about it. Um, yeah, there was very little doubt that I was ever going to really remove this once I saw it. But my number one is The Sadness. So this is again another Asian horror. This one is from Taiwan. It concerns a couple who are, they're getting up, they're starting their day, they're, about to go to work and whatnot. Only when they realize that there's this strange virus in the air, and it's affecting the citizens, and it's making them go absolutely mental. They basically act with no inhibitions whatsoever. So uh, imagine, if you will, just walking into a crowded restaurant, walking up to the cashier at the front desk, and ripping their face off and eating it in front of everyone just because you were hungry. Um, that's not even close to what goes on in this. This is over the top, and I mean over the top. This is one of the brutalest, goriest, most graphic films I've ever watched. And I watch a ton of this kind of stuff, and this just it ups the ante. Um, it's just relentless, but it, I'm trying to kind of be cautious about this, but it's just over the top. I mean, that's just like the easiest way I can describe it. It's over the top, and I fell in love with it, and I never stopped thinking about it after it was over. It just worked for me. So again, this is another one. I don't know if it's available yet, so it's going to be one that you're going to have to watch a little bit later. But if you can, definitely, I cannot recommend this movie enough. The number one for me is The Sadness.
Oh, I wrote down. I definitely interested to see this movie.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I think it's still festival screenings, so if it ever gets a wide release, yeah, definitely give it a watch. Yeah, I mean, if you like zombie films, or if you like over the top, just relentless bloodshed and gore and all that kind of stuff, I cannot recommend this movie enough. So yeah, number one for me is The Sadness.
wow, awesome. My number one is The Night House. So I know I pick a little bit simple movie, um, sim- simple, kind of like simple story, but the thing I like about the story is that again, you give your own version from the end, how the end. And I have my own, and I watched this movie 4 times, right? There's some mystery in it. So the story is about this woman that lost her husband. He killed himself, and she's trying to grieve, trying to understand why he did it when sounds like they have a great marriage. They love each other, and she go to this night house, means he built this house for them, like a vacation home, and she's over there, and she start hearing things and seeing things, you know and the more she trying to understand what's really going on, especially with the note that before he died he left for her, right? And she trying to reach out for her friends, and trying to figure out why all this why he killed himself when we are happy together. We love each other. And the more she dig, the more she find out that who she married is not really the guy she fall in love. He has some kind of creepy lifestyle, you know. So in the beginning, when I don't want to say exactly because that's the whole point of the movie, um, when she start finding some things, some pictures, she trying to be angry at him, right? Because it's hard. You find out like your husband cheating on you, right? Uh, with another woman, whatever. And the more she trying to reach out for the women that she see in the pictures and stuff, there's much more. It's not showing exactly he is a big cheater, but he's doing for other reasons, right? So the end come all together, and how I figure was like there's love beyond anything, and she was holding to the end, so I think it was a great ghost stories. Also have some flaws here and there, but just the creakiness to you be alone and you lost your husband and you love so much that you cannot believe what he capable to, or you don't know who you really marry or who you really fall in love with it. So it was a good story.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I definitely had this on my honorable mentions for that reason. So, yeah, I love the relationship here. This is, a they come off really well together. I love the mystery that it just starts bordering on creepy the more that she starts digging in, and all of the various little discoveries that she makes, and all the you know yeah, I really like it as well. Again, this is another one that was on my honorable mentions, but I couldn't agree more. I had a lot of fun with it. So
Yeah, I think in the what get to me is to become. I think what was the end is that the first impression, like she missed him so much, she could not believe he was gone, and then suddenly she find out some things about him, and she get angry at him. She start have that hate, right? And but because she still loved him so much, she could not believe what she was seeing he was capable to. So when come back to the end, that she was actually right. You know what I mean? So like was a reason why all that she find out. There was a big reason, and love still there. She was no wrong about his feelings for her. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, even you have that twist, go back to the beginning, how they feel for each other. So that's what I love it.
yeah, I like I said, I can't agree more because that's why I had it on my honorable mentions. So
Oh, awesome. I really happy to know your number one because every time when people put it in the top one list, so basically is you always have to give a chance, I think, because it's like there's something there. If you like it or somebody like it, it's me. It is a good movie, one way or another. Maybe it's not your favorite, but it's a good movie. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
So
that's
that's why it's a great exchange that we do that with each other and with people, or even see online people's list. So we give the open mind of giving a chance for the movie that they pick.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah, because I mean, I know mine was kind of a obscure one that very few had had a chance to see. So, I mean, hopefully now that if it comes out, hopefully more will see it and understand why. So,
I like to ask you if you ever saw this movie, The Morgue.
I think so. It's from South America, right?
Yes, I think it's from Ecuador, no, Ecuador maybe, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I think I have. It's the one where the guy spends the night as he's like a security guard or something, and then there's like this strange little like haunting that goes on inside the the building, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I don't remember what country it was, but I know for a fact I think it was South American. So yeah, that was another fun one. I really like that one as well.
Yeah, I fall in love. It's from Paraguay, actually.
Oh, Paraguay. Okay.
My neighbor, Paraguay.
Huh.
You know what I like in this story is because it's such a simple story. You can see it's very low budget movie. It's really simple.
Yeah.
But the reason I like this movie is because they pick a little bit of the Latino relationship. You know, that jealousy that we all Latinas are. I'm sorry to say, that's the truth,
Mhm.
girls. We are jealous girls by nature. So they pick that relationship he has with his girlfriend and they incorporate it with, like, when they have the first scene when she see a naked woman walk by behind his back, right? Passing by. And the Latina lost it. It's like you say you're alone and you was this woman, right? So gave me that creepiness of like when he was like, she's crazy, you know,
Yeah.
crazy woman. I have nobody here. And she did see it something, you know. It did
Right. Yeah.
to catch up was a little slow because take a while for him figure that this place is haunted, you know. So slowly he have to see it with his own eyes for him to believe it, you know. So was like really like what it was funny in some part for me, like I'm saying, was this relationship and then the guy show up and how he was so freaked out when he starts seeing things and the ghost basically it's like haunting him in every way, you know. So I have so much fun with this movie. That's why I said like if people don't see it, you know, you can see that
Yeah.
with no budget, no much over there, no many actors or what at all, but was very scary ghost story. So it was good.
All right. Well, yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Again, thank you so much for coming on board and talking about it. I mean, I know I had a couple of choices for you a couple of films that you had on your list that I need to check out, and I'm kind of glad that I got to return the favor because I think you said there was a couple that you wanted to watch. So,
That's
yeah.
definitely I wrote down every single one you mentioned. So you know, of course we're gonna listen, you know, the
Yeah.
broadcast. Everybody have to listen. Um, so thank you so much for you pick me to be in, you know, in your broadcast. So I'm so happy and, you know, and I have lots of fun and I really enjoy every single movie we talk about here and
Yeah.
with expression how our feelings. And I think everybody should give it a shot. Make your notes, write down the movies we gave.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So before we go, is there any place you want to give a special shout out to? Any place that we can find you online or anything like that that is worth mentioning?
Yeah, sure. I have a YouTube that's called Kelly Kassia. That's my name. So if you type it, you know, you can see it. I have groups in Facebook, and I have a blog too. And so my horror group is Horror Movie Review Maniacs. We do lots of movie clubs and challenge in the movie. So we interact with the members every single week. So you guys should check around. And we have movie freaks review. Means it's about comedy and, you know, action movie. So it's not horror. And we have the blog that I do I review documentary, so it's so much fun. So you guys should check it
Mm,
out. So thanks
yeah,
so much, and I hope you guys like it.
yeah. I will have everything linked in the show notes down below for you all to check out and join the groups and interact with her. So you can definitely find those if you can. But again, thank you so much for listening and for being involved. Really appreciate it. And hopefully, we will see you next time with a new episode. So until then, I will catch you next time.
That's right. Bye.